Hey guys, thought I'd do a quick video just to catch up on what I've been doing on the trip so far. We're on about what's my book say, day 5, so almost a week in. It's been a pretty awesome time so far. So, first day picked up Crystal, who's the backpacker that I'm travelling with until Darwin, and drove up to the Pinnacles. And the Pinnacles are always really nice. I've been there a couple of times before and just went for a walk. It was a nice, not too hot day, which was awesome. And then after that we carried on up to Cervantes. Cervantes was the caravan park we stayed in there was the RAC one. That was really nice. Had some good areas for families and whatnot, and even managed to run into Uncle Dennis, would you believe? Couldn't believe it myself, walking down the street after we went for a walk up the beach, and there's Uncle Dennis walking down the other side of the road. So I had a bit of a chat to him, and then got back to the site and found out that the guy standing in the caravan park the site next to us was from TAFE as well. So that was a bit of an interesting turn of events. So the next day started off on a forgetful note on my behalf. We drove off and got 20 k's out of Cervantes, then I realised I'd forgotten the power cord. So it was a quick turnabout back into town again and pick the power cable back up and then off on a trip again. So only a slight little detour there. But we started off trying to find a place called Drover's Cave, which is apparently a really nice place to go to, but we had a hard time trying to find it. In fact, we couldn't find it at all. So we kept on driving down the road that we thought it was and ended up going to Lazure National Park, which was a nice little drive through there, and got up to see some nice views there, which hopefully I'll be smart enough to put some pictures over the top of this later so you can see that instead of looking at my ugly mug all the time. While we were there we actually ran into a lady called Andrea. She was actually travelling up the coast. She was over from Melbourne, but she was actually going to take up a nursing position for 6 months in Carnarvon. So got talking to her, and she said, I'm heading out to this other place called Stockman Scully. So, and do we want to come? Because it was along a fairly decent four-wheel drive track that my car wouldn't have done with the towing the trailer. So yeah, we went along there as well and had a good chat with her and found out about what she's doing, and yeah, it was really good. And then we drove on to Kalbarri for the stop that night and just took it easy. Went for a walk down the beach and actually saw some dolphins there swimming in the Kalbarri Bay there, which was brilliant. So on the third day, we were in Kalbarri, so we had a full day in Kalbarri. We thought we'd go and have a look around, see what there is, and went out to the Kalbarri National Park there. And I'll tell you what, it was stunning, absolutely stunning out there. The first bit we went to was a place called Nature's Window, which is basically what it is, a rock formation that you can look through, and it looks like a window and just looks down into the gorges there. And it's just stunning. And if that wasn't good enough for you, we then went down to the river trail down Z Bend, and it actually goes down into the gully, and it comes out in the gorge there, and you can go for a swim, and yeah, that was just so beautiful. Definitely worth a trip if you're going up there. We got lucky because we actually found out that it was going to be closed for some, looked like some roadworks that were happening out there. So we got in, and the last day it was open for a little while, which was awesome. Yeah, so the river trail was a pretty hard slog. It was up and down some cliff faces, and it was a lot of climbing rather than walking. So as good fun as it was, and as unfit as I am, I crashed pretty shortly after that. Got back to the campsite, must have been about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I promptly fell asleep on the bed. Crystal borrowed the car and went off and visited a few other places like the Natural Bridge and Mushroom Rock and Pot Alley, I think it is, where apparently fishermen used to always lose their cray pots. So she went off there, but yeah, I had a nap. And then I got woken up by a car that had stopped right outside the camper trailer. And I got, Jesus, bloody hell, what's that car doing there? And I got up, and it was a Mr. Whippy van. So I went and got me an ice cream after waking up from my nap. So after that, all was right with the world, and I was happy again. Then that night we got some fish and chips and went down onto the beach and see if the dolphins had come in again. They didn't, unfortunately, but We just had a lovely dinner on the beach in Kalbarri there and watched the sunset and the moonrise. It was, yeah, it's a nice way to end a day. It actually rained a little bit that night, nothing too big, but from inside the camper trailer it sounded a lot heavier than it was, but other than that it was just a nice little sprinkle, and it cooled it down. It's actually fairly cool now. You probably can't see too much, but we're in Monkey Mia at the moment. It is pretty overcast, but it hasn't rained, which is good. But yeah. So day four. Day four, we drove from Kalbarri to Monkey Mia. Now I tried to get into get a campsite in Monkey Mia, but unfortunately it was booked out, as you can probably imagine, this close to Easter and the first week of school holidays. So we ended up in a dorm room, which was all right, somewhere to stay. So rocked in, about 2-3 in the afternoon. We dropped after the turn off. We dropped in at Hamlin Pool to see the stromatolites, and stromatolites are quite nice little thing, but it was stinking hot that day. Must have been around mid to high 30s, I reckon. But yeah, it was stinking hot. And then after the stromatolites, we went to Shell Beach, which I have renamed Fly Beach, because as soon as you stepped out of the car, you had 50 million of the bastards flying around you, which kind of put a damper on the day. It was, well, that location anyway. We sort of jumped out and then took a photo and got back in the car and kept going pretty much. But yeah, made up for it by having a nice beach at a nice dinner looking over the Monkey Mia beach, and went for a walk along the beach after that as well. And yeah, got to a point where it was just absolutely, the clouds were still around, so the moon went behind the clouds for a bit, and that's made it nice and absolutely dark, and I was just sitting down watching the stars, and then all of a sudden it got really, really bright, and I'm sitting there thinking, bloody hell, who's got that torch up there? And it wasn't a torch, it was just that the full moon had come out from behind the clouds and made it a little bit brighter. So after that we get to today. So today, overnight in Monkey Mia, so we're driving out to Carnarvon tomorrow, but yeah, in Monkey Mia for now, and went and saw the dolphins, as you do Monkey Mia, and Crystal was lucky enough to actually get to feed one, so that was pretty cool for her. Then after that we went for a bit of a drive back down Denham Way and went into Francois Perrin National Park. I was getting a little bit worried because it's all the maps were saying it was a four-wheel drive trail, and out the front of the where you pay to go in, it actually specifically says no X-Trails. And an X-Trail is what I drive, so I thought, oh, this could be a bit risky, but so we'll give it a go. If it gets too tricky, we'll turn around and come back. But we only went it to Big Lagoon, and it was actually a pretty easy little track out to the Big Lagoon there, and a nice little area. Didn't go any further north because I thought that might be risking a little bit too much, but no, those four-wheel drive lessons definitely paid off. If anybody needs some, Eureka four-wheel drive, they were good. Thanks Mum and Dad for that for Christmas. After that we went down to Little Lagoon. As you can't have a big lagoon without a little lagoon. And just drove along the beach there around the lagoon for a bit, which was good. It's a bit more four-wheel driving, and used the compressor, thanks Wheels for lending us that, just to pump the tyres back up. Thought I might be able to, the beach looked pretty solid, I thought I might be able to drive on that, and I did for a bit, but then it got to it turned away from the beach a little bit, and the sand got really loose and had to let the tyres down again, so the compressor came in very handy then, so I could pump them back up again. Cool, so that's where we are at the moment. So we've just gotten back from that, and I'm back in the bar at Monkey Mia, having some lunch and having a drink, and yeah, just thinking about the next couple of days. We're heading up to Carnarvon after this, so see Chris and Aisha, stay with them for overnight, then go camping out by the blowholes, and then up to Coral Bay and Exmouth and up through there. Still hoping that maybe the cyclone might dissipate and not do too much damage to Gibb River Road, so by the time I'm up there we'll be able to hit the Gibb River. Not holding my breath though, it's kind of looking a little bit dicey at the moment, but fingers crossed, you never know. But other than that, we'll see you next time.